On Trek Tuesday, Ike Eisenman talking Star Trek II and his Escape to Witch Mountain films. This is exploring humanity through sci-fi. This continues my mission to better understand ourselves through sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and comics as our mode of exploration. He's known for Escape to Witch Mountain and its sequel, Return to Witch Mountain, but to Star Trek fans, he is the nephew to Scotty, Peter Preston, in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. But we didn't know he was the nephew till much later. Here is Ike Eisenman.
And you're also part of the Star Trek universe for Star Trek II, although we didn't know it in the original theatrical cut that you were Scotty's nephew. But when they showed it on TV and showed the extended cut, and it's like, Star Trek fans know Scotty, and we know that there was some kind of relation, but we didn't know what it was until we saw the theatrical. The TV version.
Correct.
I mean, what was that like to talk about stepping into an icon, set and with all these amazing characters too?
Well, I didn't do it without some trepidation, I'll be honest with you. I was super excited just to get the audition. A lot of secrecy was buzzing around the industry about the possibility of another Star Trek movie being made at Paramount. Mm-hmm. And I was very excited. I am a dyed-to-the-wool Star Trek fan. The show was on our TV when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was on with syndication. It's simply been a part of pretty much my entire life. And suddenly turned into a personal goal. As an actor, I thought, well, if I've got an audition for anything Star Trek, I'm going to get it no matter what I have to do. So I really worked hard to book that
nice.
That part. Mm-hmm. And after, it wasn't a straight shot. No one handed it to me. I was in there with a group of other guys. I got one call back, got a second call back, read for the director, and then got the part. So I was completely thrilled. Then I got the script and found out I died. And I thought, oh no, man. I thought I got my hooks into another kind of long-running opportunity, if you will. Mm-hmm. And turns out I did, mostly because of the controversy surrounding why my character was so fawned over to begin with, given that ridiculous edit. It was personally embarrassing for me because when Wrath of Khan was released in theaters, I was shooting a film in Florida called Cross Creek.
Yeah.
On my way home, I stopped off in Texas to visit my relatives, my cousins, and I just thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun. Star Trek's out. We can all go see it. I haven't seen it yet. And they've been waiting for it because I've been talking about it, saying, oh, this is so much fun. I've got this, and that. And it's not a big part, but it's still fun. Then we go and we sit in the theater and I'm watching it, and man, I just disappeared and no one ever said anything. And where did he go? Why did he die? And why did they care? It was really, really sort of shocking. And I thought it was so pivotal to the whole point. Mm-hmm. Why would that edit be made? And that question has been asked of me, asked of everyone for so long. And thankfully it was finally kind of answered in a way, but not in any way that made any sense. But by the time I got back to Los Angeles, I had already read in sci-fi magazines or whatever that was out there that people were deconstructing it and figuring it all out. Some people even had gotten copies of the script, so they actually knew what the origin was. Mm-hmm. And so the rumors were true. They weren't they were based upon what the script was, but it was really very funny how outraged the fans were, and I think ended up forcing Paramount to do that, to reinsert the scenes when they put it on television. Yeah. I think they had applied a lot of pressure to the situation. So, so my biggest part is now part of like Disney's classic history. The smallest part I have is part of Star Trek's classic history. I just think it's great. It's a blast, and I love. Oh my gosh, and working on it, I don't even. It's almost words can't describe because it was walking into the Star Trek universe in a way like you're walking into a bar, the bar on the bridge.
Yeah.
Hanging out. They're half exhausted. Their heads half into it. They're not sure what they're doing because this is a new project. The first film didn't go so well.
That's
right. They're not sure if this is going to even get finished, let alone have any kind of success. And you could feel that. I could feel it on the set. I could see it. There was a tension amongst the performers, but they were still having so much fun. And that I appreciated. I really did. George Takei never took himself seriously for a second. My gosh, he was such a pleasure because we were, the way the shooting arrangement was set up, and we're doing all of our Enterprise work. The sets for the Enterprise were on one soundstage, and right next, across a little alleyway outside was the stage where all of our dressing rooms were, where we all got to hang out to keep us away from the rest of the studio.
Yeah.
So we would all sit on the stage, have coffee, talk, chat, read the trades, whatever. And every time George came back onto the stage after he'd shot one of his scenes or a close-up, he would come in and he had that cape as part of his costume and part of the film. And he'd throw the cape around his shoulder and say, Zulu had his close-up. And he'd say, Zulu looked meaninglessly to the left just now. And he would describe in some sweeping fashion what little bit he did on camera and take his break, and we'd all bust up because he just had a great time. So it was that kind of environment. It was very serious, of course. When things got serious, things were taken very seriously. But it was a unique experience, fun, and I couldn't be more tickled that it's still something that people want to talk about.
And Nicholas Meyer, what was he like, kind of running the show?
Yeah, I loved him. I really appreciated him. I didn't appreciate really quite how green or new he was to such a position at Paramount until I had read his memoir, and it was actually very helpful. I really enjoyed his memoir a great deal, A View from the Bridge. I recommend it to anyone. If you haven't read it, read it. It's very informative about the business in general and just what it's like, let alone managing large personalities, which is a big part of his job. I just thought he did it with, again, he was a class act, and he didn't let anything slip. He moved things along, and even though I had a very small part, he made sure to take the time to have me give him what he needed for how he saw this film.
Right.
And I always saw that as my job as an actor anyway, so I respect that relationship very much, and none of us really had any idea what his vision for the film was. Everyone was just trying to find a way to support it, and it ended up being a really it's still my favorite Star Trek film, and ranks among my top favorite science fiction films. Yeah, I think it's one of the few kind of I don't want to say it's not genre, it's franchise films that I think anyone can watch cold with no knowledge about Star Trek and still enjoy it as a good story.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that all that credit goes to him.
Yeah.
I really